Hello, there we are, we're back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I am Phil, I am the Down Under Maker. Welcome to just after 3 a.m. my time, and a Delta Flyer build stream. I'd like to acknowledge a few people because it's a whole bunch of things that have come into play to make this possible. First of all, I originally won the Delta Fly kit, well, a Delta Fly kit via Pezliz's stream. Thank you, Pezliz. The original intention was that I was going to get my brother to bring the kit with him when he was going to visit a couple of weeks ago. That all very rapidly evaporated right in front of my eyes because my brother got into a car accident and destroyed his car, and he no longer had the funds to come. That, alongside the political situation at the moment, he might not have been able to get back into the US. So yeah, that all very quickly added up to not being a viable way to get the kit to me. So rather than make logistics exceedingly hard, because it was very, very expensive when we were getting quotes, I decided, along with one of our very kind channel members, to do something a little bit different. Brad, also known as Howie DeWitt in chat, he very kindly said, "Send me the kit." And I'm like, okay. And he's like, "Because I'm going to buy you a kit in Australia." And I'm like, whoa, that works for both of us. So that's how this kit came about to actually getting to my hands. The kit was actually purchased via DREMC here in Brisbane, and then shipped across to Perth as soon as the kits arrived from LDO. Other people who've been very supportive of the channel of late, Nick has very kindly donated a spool of Polymaker to me to help me with my endeavors, and Sidament over on the east coast of Australia, he's doing a big expansion. He's part of the open tag system that's coming out for filament spools, and he's very kindly sent me a spool with an open tag in it for me to test with the Big Tree Tech Vivid. Vivid testing is still ongoing. Nothing really to report other than it's been a bit frustrating for the last week, but we're getting there. We are making progress, so hopefully everything will be awesome when people start properly receiving all their units. I just lost where I put my chat, so I'll just see what's going on in chat. Here we go. Martin's saying the audio is loud and clear, which I think I saw straight away. We've got Kegel here, we've got Brad here, Raj, Penguin, Bearded Jake, more Brad. Mad Jog Jeff is here because he's everywhere. Joseph's here. My brother's fine, Joseph. It's just a case of having to find all that cash for a new car in a hurry was the hard part. And we have a bearded printer and a Nick. I'm just scrolling through to make sure I've not missed anybody. It looks like I've got all the usual suspects. Oh, and we have a Dutchie in the house. For those of you who don't know, DJ Hollandica is also known as Ramon Online, or Ramon Line, or I don't know how to say it. But Ram and I go back a long way. We've been chatting in various chats for almost 2 years. He yells Aussie, I yell Dutchie. It's just a thing we do. So welcome. It's good you've been able to catch us live. And let's just scroll through and make sure I've not missed anything else. No, I think we're all good. Everybody says the audio is fine today, which is better than normal. So yeah, I'm sorry about the delay in getting the audio online. Every time Windows does an update, for some reason the microphones have to disappear and I have to reset them as the default mics, and it's a whole thing. Other thing, on my Discord, we have recently added a new money sync channel, and that is for Lego kits. Let me go to this one, it's going to be much easier. Lego kits. This is approximately 40 years old Lego kit. It's one of the kits I had when I was a kid. My daughter, who's 4, has decided that she likes Lego, and I can't afford to keep up with her bad habit of Lego, so I broke out my kit box that I have, and we've been building all my old Lego Technic. It turns out I'm hundreds and hundreds of pieces missing. Presumably my brother's robbed them over the years, and I need to order some more parts to make most of these kits actually work. But yeah, if you're into your Lego, by all means drop into the Discord. The Discord stuff should pop up in chat every so often. and you can join my Discord and have a look at all the various shenanigans all of my Discord people are doing with Lego. So, this week has been madness. All I've had time to do is make sure I don't dox myself and cut the labels off the box. This is exactly as I received it, apart from the label from DREMC in Brisbane. Now, this is not sponsored by DREMC. He was paid and very kindly by Brad to send me the kit. Bearded Printer's asking what's a Discord. I know he has his own, so we'll just leave that where it lies, shall we? So yeah, there we go. Delta Flyer. I've just realized this picture is upside down. There we go. Now you see things as I see things, which is going to make life a lot less mental. There we go. And straighten that up, because I know that'll get somebody's OCD at some stage. No, it's that chord. Okay, Nick. Kegel's saying hi to everybody. Okay, I think we're ready to start opening this thing up. Where's the opening side on this one? Here. Now, I'm guessing that pretty much everybody who's hanging out in my streams, ooh, Haribos, like a lot of them. Anybody who's hanging out on my Discord will have, and hanging out on my channels will have been on many of the other streams and seen these being built before. But let's move this out of the way for a second. Up onto here. I'm just going to set up my side camera for ease. And everybody knows that every time I move that side camera, it does strange things. So there we go. I'm told that it's the gyroscope inside the unit, it panics. And it doesn't like being shunted around. So maybe I'll have to swap it out with the Meat 2 that I use for the overhead up here. So quick look inside the documents. It's just a checklist. LDO. Get rid of the cardboard envelope. Give us a sorting box. A sorting box would be much more appreciated. Don't think we're really going to need this, so I'm just going to stick this to one side for now. Packing. 2 of the 3 went into the bin, so that's a win for me. From batch 2509, so it's presumably September. That appears to be all the electronics and the SanDisk card. Yep. Probably not going to need that till next week. Fasteners, we are going to need this one. Heat sets. I need to grab the heat set insert press in a minute. And that's the extruder. So let's pack that away for now. Something shiny in here. Oh, C13 power cord. Triangle lag TR6. Just having a look back to chat. It's where all the neat nerds go. Oh, my Discord is where all the neat nerds go. So let's put that to one side. Frame and linear rails. We're going to need this bit. For those who don't know what these little things are, they're for putting the rail carriages onto. so that you can not lose any ball bearings, hopefully. 1, 2, 3 linear rails. And a whole bunch of extrusions. Oh, and the carbon fiber tubes. Get rid of this. AC adapter, we won't need that yet. We won't need this is basically wiring loom stuff. It just holds all your cables in place. The infamous DZ01. The only place as a person of the public you can buy these is AliExpress, because it's actually a business-to-business unit. Is that Big Tree Tech make it for other companies to put into their printers. That's the whole point of this board. So it's not there for us to buy normally. It's there for random insert other printer company to buy and then stuff into their printers. A whole bunch of jumpers. I'm going to put this back in its bag. Just wanted to show you guys, because that'll probably be next week or maybe the week after, depending on how much progress we make and if/when my kids wake up. As usual, because this is an early morning stream my time, there's a remote risk that we'll have a 2-year-old and or a 4-year-old come visit us at random. And yeah, how grumpy they are dictates how long I get to stream, because it's not really fair on my wife to leave her to deal with grumpy children. The motor kit we probably won't need today. All the panels are in the bottom of the box, and that's the build plate. So we'll leave those in the box for now. And for those of you who remember the 3D sets build, I have a part sorter because I find it works better for me than leaving everything loose. Haribos, which I'm assuming are courtesy of Dremk, however you pronounce that. He hasn't ever really told me, but we'll go from there. Jake saying, light count doesn't update on mobile without a refresh, so try not to trust it. It sort of updates once in a while, is my experience. But please, everybody, like, subscribe, all that YouTuber stuff. It does help. People are starting to see my streams, and even Penguin streams, who's relatively new, pop up in their feed if they watch all this stuff. And Rod is here. Welcome, Rod. Yeah, so please like, thumbs up, all that stuff. If you are watching this later as a rerun, please click hype if the hype button turns up. Apparently that's kind of like liking it, but saying that it's really, really awesome. And it then means that YouTube hypes it, but nobody knows what hyping is. They just hype it. Haribos are bribes in case the kids wake up grumpy. Good idea. If I give the little guy some sugar and then hand him off to my wife, he'll be double grumpy. So I'm just quickly sorting through the ones that we know we're going to need very early on. Set screws we're not going to need for a little while, I recall. Now, I'm not going into this completely blind. I've watched Killer Print stream. I've watched what he did with Steve Build. I've watched Alex's streams. I watched them in rerun because I couldn't be there. For some reason, he always starts his streams just as I'm going to bed. Yum, yum, gummy bears. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them in the bags until we actually get called for them by the instruction manual. And then I'm going to tip them into the part sorting tray, and we'll go from there. I think that's probably going to be the most effective use of our time today. There's something I know I dug out last night ready to do on the stream, but I can't see it. And that is the rail grease. Or was I too efficient and I put the rail grease away? That wouldn't surprise me. We'll get there when we get there. And because it's 3 a.m., if you see me chugging coffee, cope with it. That's what I need to do to make sure that I can keep you guys entertained. Nope. I do have some silicone grease around if I need it, but I have one of those squirty thingies full of grease. Ah, there it is. I know I've got it out. I'm sure you've seen these before on other people's streams. They were all the rage at one stage, and they do work very well for greasing the rails. So, let's bring up the destruction manual. Making sure I'm not going to dox anybody, including myself. So we need to go to here. And we need to go that one. Okay, there we go. So this is the printables page for the Delta Flyer. From here, you can download all of your STL files to print out all the printed parts. And you can go here and it tells you, hopefully, if it loads. It hasn't been loading. Oh, there we go. You can go to West 350's site and order a kit or whatever you want to do if you're in the US. We won't talk about US pricing at the moment because for Australians, it's all of a sudden got really, really attractive. Other vendors and the manual, which is why we're here. So, LDO's logo, the Delta Flyer logo, and Kenrog Creations. I don't 100% understand the whole thing between Rolhan and Kenrog. My understanding is something to the effect of Kenrog originally designed it, Rolhan helped him make it into a product. Down here we have, we're going to need this later, the DZ01 user guide. Because this is a commercial board, normally all of that stuff is not available. We've got the wiring diagram, the main board, a full manual, and the clipper config and the Orca slicer profile. We'll worry about the config and the Orca slicer profile later. What we're here for is the manual. Blah, 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 blah. Prepare your printed parts. There are two different sets of carbon rods. 100mm long is for the joints that are included. 105 is for making arms using optional MP jets. MP jets, is that the threaded rods? Maybe. We'll work that out in a second. And how to remove all the printed part stuff. Okay, so the other thing you guys are going to be seeing a lot of for a little while is these things. If you're interested in the colors, that is Polymaker Galaxy Blue ASA, Polymaker Red ASA Galaxy, and Black ASA. This is the Phil Won It stream because all of these spools came from various stream wins on all the prize draws. And I went whole hog and I printed myself a 3-color door handle. We'll get to that later. Chuck that off screen for now. And what's going on? That's in the way. Let's very gently turn this around. Not me. The desk. No, wrong way. Has to go past me to get to the desk. That's what it is. There we go. Push that back. And let's have a look at this manual, this part, shall we? It's saying that some of these parts we need to smash off. Nope, not that one. No, not that one. I know I printed these parts. That's a top. That's a lower part. Aha, there we go. Finally finding parts that I'm actually needing. So we need to actually remove this piece and this piece. That piece and that piece. Best way to do that. Probably a broken old screwdriver is the best bet. So give me a sec. Aha. Now I've just used the Prusa Slicer default settings. That's just not fitting. I need something a bit smaller than that, I think. Pop. That came off nice and neat. And again, came off nice and neat, so my settings must be okay. They possibly do with a minor tweak. But yeah, they come out of there. Let's throw those straight in the box, because otherwise I will stand on them and do the next one. I have a sneaking suspicion I have a part missing. It wouldn't surprise me. My 2-year-old loves coming in here and messing with things. But we can print them easily enough. There we go. So that's axis Y, axis B, axis C. Now that appears to have another tab out of it, which is almost certainly for the electrical. Mud that a little bit. That's fine. Make sure there's no other bits on these ones. Looks good. Have I been an idiot and missed some parts? It would not surprise me. So I do remember printing these parts though, that's the thing. Aha, here they are. What is confusing me is on the screen they show as blue and I printed them in red. And my brain at 3 o'clock in the morning is not quite there. So just pop these little pieces off. Looks like my bot is spamming chats. That's awesome. Go away, go away. That's another sign that Windows has done an update because the OBSBot software is loading from boot again. So that means I'm going to have to go into Windows and disable automatic updates. I'm going to break these off post-stream if we don't get there. Let's do some building. Install a crap load of heat sets is the next step. I am normally way more organized than this. Well, you guys know I'm lying, but I can tell myself that I'm normally way more organized than this. That cable over the back. And that camera did its freak out again. May as well align it properly while I'm doing this. There we go. That's working. That's working. Okay, I've got that one twice. That makes sense. The side camera's gone completely offline again. See if it comes back. If not, I'm not going to mess with it. We're just going to do without it. It's gone. Just make sure. One more try. Nope, it's gone walkabout. Oh, is it still booting? Oh, it's just arrived. No, not me. The side. Okay. And set it to as wide as it'll go. Okay, so get rid of that thing, it's too big. Get rid of that, it's in the way. Put those parts out of the way. And let's jump to Chrome. So according to the manual, we have 1 million heat sets to install. Stop jumping. That's the one I want to move. Just making sure chat is still working. Yes, it is. Morning, John. And that's fine. We have 1,000,001 heat sets to install. Now, we've got two ways we can do this. We can do the heat sets as we go, or we can do them as a batch. I propose to do it on an as we go basis, because that will mean that we're not just doing a death by 1,000 heat sets. Make sure the little lights come on. Nope, which means I need to turn it on here. Yes, the little light is on. Okay. So what's the first parts we actually need to do? So we need to build the 3 corners first. You blame repo for the headsets. Rod says it's 2:30 here in the afternoon and just coming inside from snowblowing the driveway in 13 Fahrenheit. Dude, here at the moment, it is 3:30 in the morning and it's 22 degrees outside, 22 degrees C. And we have Icon here. Welcome, Icon. Everybody who's just joined us, please hit the like button for me. Now, M3 by 5 by 4, there's 2 lots of them, so they are the same. And we're almost ready to start doing this heat sets press stuff. I really don't like this diagram. It says that we need, oh, we do need to start breaking off those bits of plastic by the looks of it. You know what I wish they'd done? If you're listening, guys, hopefully they watch my stream too. And if it hasn't already been mentioned by other builders, if you're going to put in built-in support, put a little dent in it so we can use a screwdriver more reliably to pop them off. That would make life a lot simpler. One of those. Trying to find something that's just the right height to keep it standing upright when I want to bash it. It's the best so far. And there's a third one in here somewhere. We'll find it in a minute. All right. Checking chat. 22C sounds great, but I need to wait about 10 days to see that. Last night, I took the kids to the beach with my wife, and we bought ice creams, and we just sat and watched the sunset. It was awesome. They're all good. Yeah, I hate this diagram. Does light mode change it? No, light mode makes it no difference. It might help you guys though, so I'll put it into dark mode. So it looks like they get heat sets. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. This is really hard to work with. Let's go back to here for a second, just make sure we can identify the files correctly. Frame. Top frame middle is those ones. That has that has 4 of them. Okay, plus that one. It's 1, 2, 3. So it has lots. We'll just call it lots. Now, rather than risk losing all of these all over the place, there's something like 110 inserts in this pack. So I'm just going to put them all in this drawer so I don't have to spend all my time picking up 110 inserts, because it's going to inevitably have them all fall on the floor for me. So now let's do this logically. Let's have a look. Now there's no lips on the inside of those ones, but there are lips on the inside of those ones. Okay. See, I knew I was going to drop something. Let's go back to that one. So for those of you who are using this as a build guide, don't. But if you are persisting on using this as a build guide, inside of these holes on the top part of the frame, there is a little lip, which means don't put the heat sets in from this side, put them in from this side. Now, what I like to do is use a steel ruler, just as a heat sink, as well as a little tool to make sure that the heat sets go in flush with the surface. What that does is it also makes sure that the heat set goes in square, or is square by the end at least. Let's move the mouse out of the way. There we go. The manual is hard to see and hard to follow. It changes pretty regularly as time goes on. You will end up dipping into your own hardware a little bit. Everybody knows that, well, all the regulars will know I've got a huge stack of parts up on the wall, so it shouldn't be too bad. What sort of parts were missing, Brad? People complain about Voron guides until they build other machines. I never really had a problem with the Voron guide itself, apart from I had a little bit of difficulty with the belt paths on the V2, but that was very early in the piece. I think that was it was an R1, but it was like just as R1 came out, and people complained that the belt path instructions were a bit all over the place, and they changed it. So 4 heat sets in there. I should have left the support on for this one. Leaving the support on would be a good idea for this one. So that's 1 on the outside, 4 on the inside, and then we need to put 2 in here. Now it doesn't say, but I can easily tell which way to put them in. So I'm just going to put them in from this side arbitrarily. Now I'm going to do this the shonky way, just because I've got better control and I can see better. Because I knew that was going to happen. Go away. If you're having your parts fall out like that, it probably means you've got your iron set too hot. But this iron doesn't go any lower than its current setting, so until I can replace it, I'm just going to stick with it. Yeah, I put that insert in upside down. It doesn't matter, it's heat set. And there's a little bit of sprue caused by me doing that. There we go. So that's installed. Now, Brad, because you've built this recently, because you built this recently, am I better to build the top frame first and then come back and do the sides, or build it as 3 parts and then come back? They had some screws longer than they should be. I think they are M12. Do you mean M312? M12 would be like crazy chunky. Now, the reason we don't have any, everyone builds 3 parts on the sides. Okay. Whenever I get to watch a stream and rerun, it's usually with the kids doing things and I'm not able to 100% concentrate. So probably better in 3 parts. Great. So we've got 2 sides there. Let's go with side A, just cuz. Don't burn your arm on there, Phil. So that appears to have 1 there. Yeah, M312s are too long. Okay, I've got M310s by the boatload, so that's fine. So I'm just orienting this so it makes the most sense. I'm guessing that they go in there. Aha, that makes sense. All right. I've just realized that the part I'm using as a reference is actually a different plastic part. So, let's go to here. I've been using this part, which can you see my mouse? There we go. I've been using this part as my reference. That is a different part to this part, and there's a different number of heat sets in them. So we're going to go with part A, and we're going to keep building. So that's there. And we need surely they can't go there. That doesn't make sense. It's way too big for a start. You know what would be really handy in this? An A here, a B here, and a C here. Or an XYZ, one of them. That would be really handy. There we go. I'm going to lose that light altogether. It's just making it difficult to see the contrasts. Okay, so back to what I'm doing. Now, that bit goes there. And I think I printed these colors the wrong way around, but we'll resolve that. What? Well, that's why it's not making any sense. That's the top. I'm looking at the ring for the top and not the bottom. So what's the part I've been working on? Z, Y, get rid of those. A. A. So we've got, now, let's sort this out. Let's just go back to square one. Part A. Now that makes more sense. On these, you can actually make out the logos. There's the CZ. You can actually make out which orientation you're dealing with on this one. So this is part A, which makes a bit more sense. So we need a heat set there. To be fair, I've been messing around with my machine in short spells, not real far into it. That's okay, Brad. Any pointers is more than welcome, you know that. Just to give people if you do it right, you can press it so that it's absolutely flush with the surface. So heat set has gone into there. Maybe I need a lolly, or candy as Americans call it, or sweet as the Brits call it. Maybe some sugar will help. Okay, that makes more sense. Now what does this prove? I need to do a little bit of offline study of this manual before next week's stream to make sure that I've got a better idea what's going on. So who here is snowed in and who isn't? I'm guessing Jeff's not snowed in, because for Jeff, just like me, it's been pretty hot recently. And if Mick joins us later on, then it's going to be very hot for him. He's had 43 degrees where he's been for most of the week. Just reading chat, make sure nothing's updated. No, it's fine. Okay. Now, I've just realized chat fell off the screen. There we go. So that's got all its heat sets in. Let's make an assumption. Let's make an assumption and assume this is A, because if you think about it, it's been flipped over. Or has it? That's right. No, it's not. It says that that's part A, but then the side heat set doesn't match. It actually matches. Okay. According to this diagram, the parts are supposed to be this way up. They have on this diagram, if you look really, really closely, part A right here. Hopefully my mouse will catch up in a second. There we go. Part A. Part A doesn't physically match when you orientate it right. It matches part B over here. Okay, we're going to work with it. What's most important is that matches. So if we put these two parts together, they match there. So we're going to work on that assumption. Did anybody else spot that? Plenty of snow, but the driveway and roads are clear where Rod is. Now, I think we're going to need 2 more heat sets, but I'm just double checking. Yes, 2 more heat sets. And it appears that they go in from that side. 2 more heat sets. And it appears that they go in from that side. Now, one thing I have looked ahead for is I've seen that there is that crazy 90-degree angle that you need to put some heat sets in. I remember seeing that. I think it was like a Killer Prince. I think he even did a short on it. Or was it maybe it was Steve? But yeah, there's a short showing that there's one heat set that goes at a funny angle that we have to keep an eye out for. So that's gone in. So now we can build this A side, hopefully. Skipping all that, we'll put those parts in later. Same with that. Assembling a bottom corner. So that says we might need a motor. I know we need pulleys. And I know we need everything. Okay, so let's have a look at this. We're going to need a motor from this pack. Okay, so let's have a look at this. From that pack. We're going to need a motor from this pack. I made an incorrect assumption. I need the motors from the box anyway. Opening it up, it's the usual fare from LDO. I'm not going to worry about the cable for now. We can grab that out if we need it. One thing we do need to check though is it important which way up the motor goes? Based on what I'm seeing, I'm going to say it probably is important. And I'm going to insert this F695 bearing. So just off screen to you guys, I have the parts kit and I'm just trying to find the bearings. So just off screen to you guys, I have the parts kit and I'm just trying to find the bearings. Thumb screws, set screws by the ton, a bunch of M5 T-nuts, a bunch more M5 T-nuts, M3 T-nuts, bearings, a million M5 screws, more M3 T-nuts. I'm having real trouble locating these bearings. Am I missing something? Are they in a different box? Brad, do you remember? Hi, Steve. Am I missing something? Are they in a different box? Steve, any pointers that you've got as we go, please, by all means, jump in. I'm just currently struggling to find the 695 bearings. If you remember which bag they were in, that would be awesome. I do have some in my parts bins, but if they're missing, that would be really, really rubbish. I do have some in my parts bins, but if they're missing, that would be really. I'm just having a look in the MISC box. Aha, I'm probably in here. Yes, we have pulleys. We have idlers. Do we have bearings? There we go, bearings. And magnets. Let's pull those out. And rubber bands. And the ends of the rods. Won't be able to stay long, you're on your lunch break. That's all good. And Brad's on a work call. No worries, Brad. So, to me at least, it's really obvious which one which way the bearing goes in. It just shunts in, and there's a nice little snap noise. That's fine. Insert the F695 into the lower frame rail cover. Put the GT2 pulley onto the motor with the set screw facing towards the motor. Don't tension the screws yet. Cable notch facing on left or right, not up or down. Okay, that was kind of what I was assuming. And attach them 4 M3 by 30s. Long ass M4s and a bunch of them. 16s. M3 by 30, a small bag of, and by 30, big bag of. There we go. Hi LTX. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Now, I am going to set my 4-year-old to work. With regards to the screw sorting, and I'm going to get her to do all the sorting for us. Now, the nice thing I'm feeling right here, right now is it's not what you describe as an interference fit, but it's a very snug fit. sometimes you get the pulleys and there's a bit of slop on them, and you're never sure that it's going to be concentric. This, I don't have any questions over. That's going to be nice. Now, there's no mention of which set screws we're going to use at this point. It says, put the GT2 motor with the set screw facing towards the motor. Don't tension set screws yet. So it's implying that we do need to have the set screws in, but it's not saying which ones they are. To the parts list. Set screw M3 by 16, there's 13 of them. Set screw M4 by 4, there's 6 of them. So it's not going to be those because that doesn't, or maybe it could be. Unlikely though. It seems highly unlikely you would use 16mm long set screws. Popaway, how are you? We're just doing a little bit of sorting of parts at this point. It says that you might need set screws, but it doesn't say which set screws, and yeah. Let's do a Control F. So let's go to here so you guys can see what it says. So I'm not going mad. Insert F695 bearing into lower frame, which we did. Put the GT2 pulley onto the motor with the set screw hole, should be, facing towards the motor, which I've been able to do. Don't tension the set screws yet. So it's implying that there should be set screws in place. Attach the motor to the frame using the M330s. Now, I mean, I can get to put them in for now, but we may end up doing a huge, massive disassemble to fix this up if this all doesn't go right. So let's go back to the overhead cam. That's caught, I think. Yep. So what these screws go in the top. And because they're long, if you don't get them just right, they get caught up. That hole does go all the way through, I can see it. I'll try and wiggle it once the screwdriver is on it. See, that one just slid in. There we go. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to do them until they're slightly pinched. Then do the next one, and then I'll do a quick hand tighten in a moment. So tight, tight. I'm doing about 3/4 of an ugga-dugga using Steve's reference. And as you can see, I should still be able to get the set screws in with minimal fuss through that gap, or through that gap if I need to. So let's just make sure that we match what's going on here. So orientate it the same way as the instruction manual. We've got the motor, we've got the 4 screws in from this side, the bearing's already in for the shear support. Yep, that matches. Okay. Assembling the top frame. So let's put that over there out of the way for a moment. We're going to need a sensor from this box. One sensor. We are going to need M5 by 16 screws. So on the top frame corners, attach the GT2 idler with an M516. M510. M5, that's M316. That's a stealth press, not a delta flyer. Yes, it is, Alec. I'm currently hating on the lack of a part sorter. M516, here we go. So I was just saying that I'm going to get my daughter to be doing all the screw sorting with me before next stream. M516, we've got 2 M3 by 10s. 16, 10. 1, 2. That goes through there. Doesn't look like there's any washers involved. It's just straight up. Yep. Now, I'm just going to show you what's going on here. Now, bring my mouse into frame. It's not immediately obvious on my screen because the contrast is all weird for some reason, but this pulley is inside the groove. So that groove. Ah, that's why there's no washers. There's actually a little printed in, not bearing as such, but like a kind of what would be a shim. And because this screws into plastic, I'm just taking this very easily as it bites. And it's in. That works. And now we need our sensor. Well, it doesn't say we need our sensor, but it says we need our sensor. Alex, I know you've built one of these, so if you've got any pointers as we go, just let me know. I'm going to put that cable back in the box. And that goes there. And very gently going to put in these M3 screws. And very gently going to put in these M3 screws. Now when you're putting screws straight into plastic, gently. And the moment you feel it go pinch tight, stop. I mean, I know that many other creators go screw it in until it cracks and then half an unscrew. Nah. Subtlety. Subtlety's good. Screw it in until it cracks and then half an unscrew. There. So now I'm going to go back to this again. Remembering that our diagrams don't match our parts. Not properly. That one sort of does, but sort of doesn't. I'm going to swap this around. Pretty straightforward. We just noticed, Alex, that's on one of the diagrams, the parts don't match the diagram. Now, quick reminder that we have a whole bunch of other people in this stream chat who are also streamers. We do seem to be lacking an RJ repo man, so for shame on you, RJ. But we do have projects in Dad's Garage, and we do have Penguin Makers, and we have Steve Builds. If you haven't liked and subscribed to them already, please go and do so after the stream. Stay here. Don't leave yet. Do it after the stream. And if there's anybody else I missed, feel free to shout out that you stream in the chat. Don't use the wires that came with the end stop sensors. Can you elaborate why, Alex? Because there's a trick to those wires and you have to put them in a certain way around. So that is all in place. The end stop orientation is critical in proper homing functionality. Yeah, well, I've done it according to the picture. If it doesn't work, we can turn it around. Attach the 2020 extrusion to the top of the frame using 4 M5 by 10s. So we're going to need some M5 by 10s, not M4 by. Yeah, 4 by. This bed conveniently has only 4 in it, so let's go with that one. And an extrusion. There's a different set in the box of wires. Okay. Just checking for fit. That fits nice and snug. And 3/8, nope. And 5 by 10. So the only logical way to do these is to put the screw in and then three-quarters of a turn to lock, get the T-nut onto it. Because I have fat fingers, I find it's... That was loud. And that M510 has gone walkabout. I have to find one. I've got it in my... I've got spares in my box, but yeah. I normally use a hemostat to try and hold those in place. That's obviously a bit fat for this one. So let's try it. Different edge. No. Ah, it's broken. Different edge. No. The very tip of the ratchet clip on the hemostat just shattered. They're cheap ones off Ali. So it's not the end of the world. Clip on the hemostat just shattered. They're cheap ones off Ali. What's going on in chat? Oh, hi, Havoc. What's going on in chat? Oh, hi, Havoc. Now, mental note for next time, do the bottom, do the innermost first. Now, mental note for next time, do the bottom, right in the middle of the shot for you guys. Do the innermost first. Right in the middle of the shot for you guys. I'm using the wrong size screwdriver. There we go. So, we need to orientate all of those vertically and go. So, not enough thread on that one. All of those vertically and go. Not enough thread on that one. Now, to any latecomers, just a quick reminder while I'm futzing about to make sure you have liked the stream. So that's all lined up vertically. Before I burn myself, let's turn that way. Before I burn myself, let's turn that way. Click, 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 click. And that's in. Now, I'm not going to tighten this all the way, just to pinch tight to make sure those hammerheads don't fall off, the hammerhead T-nuts. Now, I'm not going to tighten this all the way, just to pinch tight to make sure those hammerheads don't fall off, the hammerhead T-nuts. And that's up. Does anybody know of a parts organizer tray for disassembling an Ender 3? I would assume if there's going to be anything useful, it will probably be with the Ender 3 NG files. Certainly a good place to start looking. 5 hammerhead T-nuts. Hi, Ted. 5 hammerhead T-nuts. Hi, Ted. And 5x10 big bag. There we go. And 5x10 big bag. There we go. Okay, so basically we're going to do a rinse and repeat of what we just did, but with the blue part, and hopefully without the hemostat issues this time. So basically we're going to do a rinse and repeat of what we just did, but with the blue part. Learning from previous lessons. Stuff that in there. Stuff that one in there. That one in there. And the final one there. It wouldn't be one of my streams if I wasn't dropping screws everywhere. Those hammer nuts are a full slide in. These are hammerheads. If I'd self-sourced, I probably would have used slide-ins, or roll-ins rather. Mostly because I have a crap load of them sitting in a box. Now, if anybody's wondering why I don't have any music, the last time I'd ran music as a background, I had a company DMCA take down the stream, like every single track they claimed as DMCA. Problem with that, it's YouTube's own music that YouTube provide for creators to use in their videos. But to remove all those copyright strikes from the stream, you have to do them one at a time unless you've got a certain status with YouTube, which I don't yet have. So rather than spend about 6 or 7 minutes per claim to get it undone, I'm just leaving it for now, and I will deal with it once I get that status up. And let's just make sure before I do anything silly that I am doing what I need to do. Alex is having the same issue. Just double checking all of this before I do any more. Yep. So once you've got that higher status with YouTube, you can just select all of them and say, this is bullshit. So once you've got that higher status with YouTube, you can just select all of them. But until you got that status, it's one at a time. This is bullshit. There should be penalties for false DMCA. Yeah, they should. It's a scourge. And what do they hope to make from it? They can't make any money because my stream isn't monetized. There should be penalties for false DMCA. Yeah, they should. It's a scourge. And what do they hope to make from it? It's 4:30 a.m. here, and I've just finished my coffee. So hopefully I'm more or less awake now. It's 4:30 Now again with this one, I'm just going to pinch tighten these screws so nothing can fall out. Find the false reports and release huntsman spiders on them. RJ, you're here now. For those who don't know, RJ has started streaming. Go like and subscribe his streams after my streams. Don't leave me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Sounds like one of those hospital dramas. So, that way up, in principle. Don't leave me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Sounds like one of those hospital dramas. Installing the panel covers next. So, in principle. Installing the panel covers next. So, some of the panel covers have a spot for magnets and some of them have spots for cables. So I just need to very carefully sort those to one side. Oh, that's pretty good fit. Not quite a friction fit. But that works. Okay, so we're going to need lots more M5s by the looks of it. But that works. Okay, so we're going to need lots more M5s. Attach 4 corner panel pieces to each of the... Yeah, okay, so this is where I break out Steve's hex tray to prevent me dropping things on the floor. Let's get rid of those for now. And those. And those. Let's turn not that one. That one off. And get it out of shot. Because I'm paranoid, I'm going to end up burning my arms on it. That's where that heat set went. Get rid of those off screen. Get rid of those off screen. And we'll hit this up and then we'll put all 4 on at once. And we'll hit this up and then we'll put all 4 on at once. So I'm just reading through all the stuff that's going on in chat, and most of it's just dribble backwards and forwards. So left me a little confused for a moment. Oh, for those of you who don't know, RJ is the person who caused the big fire at Fabrico with the lasers. Left me a little confused for a moment. Oh, for those of you who don't know, RJ is the person who caused the big fire at Fabrico with the lasers. 1. Brad, I don't think we have to worry about RJ's sense of humor. It's pretty good. have to worry about RJ sense of humor. It's pretty good. So that's in place. So Brad, did your kit come with a Haribo, or was that a DREM inclusion? So Brad, did your kit come with? Don't know why I just grabbed that from the train instead of using the two in front of me, but I did. Don't know why I just grabbed that from the train instead of using the two in front of me, but I did. Look at the picture on your Discord. Oh, thanks, Bot Software, for zooming in and showing my fingers for a second. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Look at the picture on your Discord. Oh, thanks, Bot Software, for zooming in and showing my fingers for a second. There we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. So. One. All right. So. Let's do it this way. It's probably easier to see. 2. 1. All right, let's take this opportunity to show you what's going on. For those of you who don't know, I teach science and engineering. It's my day job. All right, let's take this opportunity. When you are using these hammerhead T-nuts, they're designed in such a way as the narrow side will fit directly into the slot here. And then when you turn the screw, it rotates it so that what was the narrow side is now the long side, and that catches on the inside of the rail, because the inside of the rail has grooves like that, and that's what holds them all into place. I remember watching a stream a long time back when I was relatively new at building this stuff, and I was like, wait, what? And yeah, just that simple explanation. Now, because I teach science and engineering, and I know full well some of my students occasionally catch these streams, try and keep the language to relatively. That one's gone under the cabinet. I'll fish that out later. Sorry, I dropped a T-nut. It's a fine line putting these T-nuts on enough that they'll fit, but not too tight that they won't actually be able to turn. It's a fine line putting these T-nuts on enough that they'll fit, but not too tight that they won't actually be able to turn. So let's have a look. Extrusion up the middle, cover trim panels, which really are just trim panels, they're just pretty. The end stop sensor, a pulley in the top, sorry, an idler in the top for the belt to go over, and the other end is the motor drive and everything there. Jeff's back because he lost internet for a while. That explains why you haven't been ragging on RJ, Jeff. We were just discussing the fact he's the one who's responsible for the fire at Fabrico. So, in reality, that's the right way up, because the motors come. The effector hangs from the motor assembly down here. So, in reality, that's the right way up, because the motors come. Okay. Okay, so I have got one of these wrong. it says that the front lower panel on the A upright has a hole in it for a magnet. It says that the front lower panel on the A upright. What is this one? Has a hole in it for a magnet. What is this one? Let's see if it's a good push fit or if I need to go get the super glue. Let's see if it's a good push fit or if I need to go get the super glue. It's good enough for now. It may end up with... Oh no, that's way too loose. I'll be back momentarily, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back momentarily, guys. You guys can still hear me going dookie doo. Okay, I'm back. So that bonk noise you may have heard was the fridge door. If you've got cyano acrylate, also known as super glue, it's a really good idea to keep it in the fridge. Because if you keep it in the fridge, it means that it can't go hard in the tube. One drop. Now I've got this particular one is the super thin. I'm just wiping it to make sure I don't get any of that white ghosting that you get sometimes if the super glue touches anything. So let's have a look. So it needs to go that way. Just having a look here. That's the panel we have to replace. Orientate that the same as the picture. That one. Now I'm going to leave those T-nuts attached to that part because it's going to take up time now and take up more time later if I remove them. One. Hi, Clownhammer. Oh yeah, I heard about that, Jeff. RJ's giveaways are all rigged. I wonder who would have taken advantage of the fact that he hadn't realized he needed to lock down his phone to prevent multiple entries. And who might then have put lots of entries in with multiple weird names. There we go. So the magnet's now in place. let's go back. Magnets now in place. And pillar A is complete. Let's move on to pillar B and rinse and repeat. But hopefully now we've got into our groove and things won't be as awkward. So that we know we need that. We know we're going to need one of those. We're not going to need any magnets or rubber bands for a while. We are going to need a pulley. We are going to need a motor. We are going to need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to need the 695 bearing, which I again have put somewhere. No, and we are going to need a sensor. I put that here by accident. No, it doesn't look like it. I put the bag with the bearing somewhere. Thumb screws, bearings, there we go. Heads up or we release the dingoes. Just quickly reading through chat. RJ got hit by the drop bear mafia. When I get to that stage and I can start memberships, that is going to be the membership tier that I think I'm going to go with. Tier name of Drop Bear Mafia. Just to satisfy everybody's obsessions. I'm just making sure that the motor's orientated the same way. That's a lot tighter in the bearing. That tolerance isn't very good. See if the other one fits any better. Now, it's not unusual to have a small difference in the fit between shafts and bearings, but that just didn't feel right. And it appears to be that particular motor. I'm going to set that to a side. That first motor was a much more relaxed fit than these, which is unusual. That one fits better on that shaft. That's better. One, 2, 3, 4. You've got a new food challenge to do, Penguin. Are you going to elaborate or are you going to leave us? I don't think it's a burr on the shaft head. It fits on better than that. It feels like just the shaft is the fractions of a millimeter wider. That one's a loose one. Tight, tight, tight. Now the way this is designed, you can actually make up for it as the screws pull against the plastic part. It kind of presses the bearing onto the shaft anyway. I just wanted the best reasonable fit I could manage, and we'll adjust for things later. Did I forget 2 heat sets? I think I did, yes. So having put my heat set press away, I need to get it back out again. That's empty, get rid of that. That's right. We decided we were going to do the heat sets one axis at a time. It'll be announced on stream if I hit 100 before then. Okay. So if you haven't subscribed to Penguin, please go do so. Just need to wait for this to warm up. I've mentioned your channel to several people. The only trouble is you can lead a horse to water, but you know the rest. For Aussies, unfortunately, Penguin stream isn't the ideal time. I mean, I can make it because of the fact I'm on school holidays. Or vacation if you're American. So that heat set is in. 1, 2 there, and those ones. And yes, I am using the heat set press wrong. But for these parts and with my glasses, it works better for me. Now, as I understand it, some people who were in on the original Big Tree Tech pre-order have started receiving their Vivid units. So hopefully you'll be seeing lots more people around the place with their Vivid units. Mine is sitting switched off at this point because I've got to do a quick update to the latest software version. So that's not sitting as flush as it could. That's better. Fake Fabrico site just went up. Pro Fabrico is not the real thing. Okay. Worth noting. So 1, 2, 3 in that one. Now this has an extra spot on it. I think might need a heat set, so I'll need to refer back to the manual in a moment. So back to the manual. Scrolling up a bit. Right. Now we assume that that is A, but we can't tell 100%. That's that one, that's that one, that's that one. So this part that I was thinking of. I could have sworn I saw an extra hole that looked like it needed a heat set. There, that's what I'm looking for. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to make sure I get this right the first time. It's not immediately obvious, so we'll leave it for now. Put that down there and turn it off again. We can always come back to it. That drawer below the heatset press looks so convenient. I just printed the default one that was in a mod on printables. Would I reprint it? No, because it's got, unlike Steve's hex tray, which has nice little fillets on the insides, it's got square edges. So that means that it's almost impossible to get the very last couple of heat sets out of it. So if I was going to do it again, I'd modify that file and I'd put very nice thick fillets into the bottom of those pockets. The tip-off was when you got emails from Schmecter. I assume you're still talking about the fake Fabrico site. So sensor goes there, that goes there. Let's be sensible about this and do the pulley, the idler first. And we're almost exactly at 2 hours, guys. Didn't get quite as much done as I was hoping to, but some of that was my fault. Some of it was reading the manual, check twice, cut once kind of stuff. Didn't get quite as much done as I was hoping to, but some of that was my fault. Some of it was reading the manual, check twice, cut once kind of stuff. J3DCNC, hello. Haven't seen you in my chat before. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. J3DCNC, hello. At least I don't think I've seen you in my chat before. So we've got the idler in, got the heat sets all in. That's all put together. So now we need another extrusion. Builds always take heaps longer on stream. They definitely do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Builds always take heaps longer on stream. They definitely do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm quite used to putting stuff together in front of a big audience, because if you're demonstrating something as a teacher, you're constantly stopping classes, pulling everybody to a side and going, here, watch this. But I can imagine for somebody who's not used to that kind of stuff, getting used to the fact that things just take longer. It's hard. Not used to that kind of stuff. Getting used to the fact that things just take longer. It's hard. My students kind of get used to it. They're like, sir, we were in the middle of doing stuff. I'm like, yeah, you're in the middle of doing it wrong. That's why I'm pulling you all aside. I'm like, yeah, you're in the middle of doing it wrong. That's why I'm pulling you all aside. I won't say I run my classrooms as loose as I run my streams in terms of the chat, but my classrooms are pretty relaxed in terms of how tight of a leash I keep my students on. My watch has just realized that I'm awake and gone, hey, you're awake. Do you want to turn your alarm off? This one's not going in as easy as the last one. There we go. It's lined up. Sorry, guys. Try and do that so you can actually see it. There we go. That way. Sorry, guys. Try and do that so you can actually see it. There we go. That way. Just realized we didn't put the sensor in. Which way around did we put the sensor on that one? That way. Just realized we didn't put the sensor in. Which way around did we put the sensor on that one? They were M310s. They were M310s. I prefer to measure once, cut 5 times personally. Ah. Penguin. And then grind down the rest of the way. You definitely sound like one of the metalworking classes I covered for a while back. This kid, he was a butcher. He's like, I'm just going to cut it here. I'm like, you could just draw the measurements on the material. This kid, he was a butcher. He's like, I'm just going to cut it here. I'm like, you could just draw the measurements on the material. But that was a teachable moment, because then when it was ugly and horrible and nasty, I pulled the whole class aside and set up one of the mills, and we put the material in the mill and we squared off the edge all nicely, and then we measured it, and then we machined it down to the exact length he needed. Sometimes you have to leave kids on a long leash, let them screw up, and then show them how they can fix it. Sometimes you have to leave kids on a long leash, let them screw up, and then show them. Now, life lesson that we learned earlier: do the innermost holes first, because it means you can still get your finger in. Life lesson that we learned earlier. There's definitely a life lesson in that one. Do the innermost holes first, because it means you can still get your finger in. There's definitely a life lesson in that one. I'm honestly surprised my 2-year-old hasn't turned up. Although it was a big evening last. We took him out for ice cream after dinner to the beach, and he got to run around for an hour. It was a big evening last. We took him out for ice cream after dinner to the beach, and he got to run around for an hour. Nope. It's been a while since I dropped something. About time it caught up with me. It's been a while since I dropped something. About time it caught up with me. Oh, loose enough. Now, tip for my students if you're watching, with these T-nuts, inertia is your friend. If you do your first turn as a really fast flick, it guarantees that the nut will actually rotate and catch inside the extrusion, which that's done, and that's all nicely locked into place. Where are we at? We've got 2 of our axes built. We did the special. Actually, we need to do the covers on this one, Phil. Don't put it away yet. We've got 2 of our axes built. Are there any special notes about pillar B? I would have thought pillar B would have something special going on for the hinge. It's not specifically called out, but it definitely makes sense that this part is the one for here, because it then matches that. That's a generic, that's a generic, that's a generic, that's a generic. I'm just checking to make sure there's no more special panel covers. Oh, there's another special panel cover. And it makes sense that that one goes there. So we've got two there. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the other pillar. I think we've got this sorted. Hi, Kenneth. So you're joining us not far from the end of the stream, Kenneth, but that's not the end of the world. You can go back and watch it later. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Phil, what time is your giveaway? Don't have one yet. I need to do some checking about something I've been considering as a giveaway, but I want to dot my I's and cross my T's before I mention it. Repo wants a delta. Like I said, this isn't sponsored by LDO. The reason I've got this kit is because I won it. Well, I won a kit, and then, yeah, it got complicated. Brad ended up with the prize kit, and he very kindly bought this kit from a local supplier because logistics got hard. That's how the hinges work. That makes more sense. There's a fraction of a millimeter overlap. Not easy with the geometry of these parts to do this. There we go. This one. So what's going on is the inserts are maybe 1/4 of a millimeter not fitting. So I've just loosened up that motor mount, just enough for that to all slide in. Repo wants a lot of things. I just want my mind. I lost it 35 years ago. That's all sitting nicely. Ain't that the truth? So, pillar B has the two extra long lugs, which then are used in conjunction with the hinges. Quite how that works, I don't know yet. We'll have to discover that later. Checking the time, it's 1:15. Put these last two side panels on, and then we might wrap things up. No, that's not going to work. Close enough. I think there's a special kind of PTSD that people who've worked in IT all suffer. The clock is off. I have 16 past. I mean, you've got to allow for the stream delay, dude. Now, that panel isn't quite lined up, and it's going to irritate me if I don't fix it now. Yeah. Show you what's going on. There was like 0.5 mm panel misalignment there, so I just tweaked it a little bit to make it all nice and lined up. PTSD equals printer troubleshooting disorder. Nice one, Penguin. So that goes there. That one goes there. And oh, that way. And we have a third column to build next stream. What I am going to do off stream is I'm going to sort out all these parts into my little box and into here. I'm also going to tidy up a bit because my desk is a bit cluttered. Super glue needs to go back in the fridge. And yeah, I think we've had a pretty successful stream, if a little bit haphazard in me not realizing a few bits and pieces were doing the things the way they were. But that's been awesome. So let's zoom out. Let's go to here. I have been Phil. I have been the Down Under Maker. This has been building some of the Delta Flyer. Please join me next week for part 2. It's time for me to hop on out of here. Bye, guys.